Welcome to another edition of Spooky News from Spooky Ventures. This update is the November 18th, 2022 edition. With the traditional spooky season in the rearview mirror, this is the time of year when the spooky tribe are the ones still in spooky mode. So, welcome to all of you, my people. Before we get underway here, I want to make the usual announcements. First, Spooky Ventures, and especially this YouTube channel, are supposed to be interactive. So, please interact by liking our videos and sharing our videos. And be sure to subscribe. Also, don't forget to visit the main page at spookyventures.com and have a look at all the cool merch at our Cafe Press store at cafepress.com/spookyventures. With all of that out of the way, let's turn our attention to the news. We're going to start off with an out-of-the-ordinary story about a type of ghost. That type of ghost is the variety that is a human being with a sheet over their head. In a Manchester park, there was a gathering of about 100 such ghosts recently. It was an attempt to break the Guinness Book of World Record for the largest gathering of people dressed as ghosts. In order to make the record, they would have needed about 560 brave sheeted souls. 200 signed up to make the attempt, but only about half that number actually showed up. So they did not make the record book. But at least they made the news, right? Next up, we turn to a spooky real estate listing. If you're a fan of Stranger Things, and particularly the 4th season of the show, and you have $1.5 million to spare, you can own the Creel House. Located in Rome, Georgia, the home was built in 1882. It has been recently renovated and updated. It's a 6,000 square foot home, and it includes a guest house on the spacious lot, too. There are a number of references to the show in the real estate listing, so obviously they are using its fame as a selling point. Talking about horror television shows, there's an intriguing one coming from Peacock. Titled Crystal Lake, the series will be a prequel to the Friday the 13th movie series, and specifically the first movie. While it seems unlikely we'll see Jason Voorhees in the movie, it certainly has precedence to do a horror show set at the camp before the first Friday the 13th movie. If you remember, in that very first Friday the 13th, Camp Crystal Lake has been sitting empty for years, and a new group of people are reopening it. But it already had a reputation as Camp Blood from something that happened in the past. I think that if it's done well, the new series could be a strong entry in the Friday the 13th legacy or timeline storyline. There is obviously room for a story to be told there. Now, while that article is about a TV series inspired by a series of movies, next we're going to talk about a movie that has a connection to a TV series. If you're a fan of the Hannibal TV series, you're certainly familiar with Mads Mikkelsen and Bryan Fuller. The two are reuniting for a horror movie called Dust Bunny. The film is about a neighbor who is enlisted to help a kid kill a monster from under her bed that has already killed her family. It sounds like a big change from Hannibal, but it also sounds like it could be a lot of fun. Our final bit of film news centers on Ghostbusters. It's being reported that Ernie Hudson has said that he's seen a script for the next Ghostbusters movie and that he's very happy with it. As good as the last one was, I think we have reason to be optimistic about the next one. And before I wrap things up, I want to remind you that if you want more information about any of the articles, please stick around after I'm done talking, because I'll include the links used for the sources. You can also find those links in the details section of this video, though. As always, I include important upcoming dates for you before signing off. The first few of these are not on our spooky events calendar, but I wanted to make sure to mention them. This past Monday, I got to chat with independent filmmaker Jesse Heisel about his film that I reviewed, We Found Something, and we talked about a lot more than that, too. That interview will be posted as an interview video on this YouTube channel next Tuesday, the 22nd. And the following day, on Wednesday, We're going to fully launch into putting the spooky back into Christmas season on this channel. That's because that day will feature the publication of the first Christmas horror movie for the year. More will come, one each Wednesday after that. Now, I'm going to turn to events actually on our calendar. I mentioned the spookyventures.com website earlier. Well, you can always find our calendar by just going to that page, spookyventures.com, and scrolling down to the bottom of the page, and you'll see a link, a little picture of the calendar. We list events of interest to fans of all things spooky there. This time around, we start with a movie release. The horror comedy The Menu opens today. Well, I've seen a trailer, and it looks like it could be good. Next Wednesday, the same day that I start on the spooky Christmas reviews, the movie The Nanny opens. Now, I don't really know much about that one. Next Tuesday, the 22nd, is Jamie Lee Curtis's birthday. The following day, Wednesday the 23rd, would have been Boris Karloff's birthday. Well, that's all for this edition of Spooky News. Hopefully I'll be back with another one at some point next month. Until then, remember, no matter the season, always keep it spooky. Spooky is a lifestyle, not a season. Spooky Ventures is the home for spooky content and spooky merchandise on the web. Check it out today at spookyventures.com. And remember, always keep it spooky.